So apparently you're here because you have an HP OfficeJet Pro, either an 8600 like this one, or a very similar model that has this message on the screen. The printhead appears to be missing, not detected, or incorrectly installed. You can't print, you can't do anything. So we've got a possible solution for you, and it's very cheap. First thing you gotta do is open up the printer. Just gonna bring the print head and the ink over. Okay, if you look in there, just to the right, to the this whole assembly right here is called the print head. It's got the individual ink cartridges. See that lever back there, that gray lever? You're gonna pull it up. That's gonna release the print head. It's loose now. I'm gonna remove it. And the problem lies in that circuit board back behind it. See the gold contacts? That's what contacts with those pins back there. Let me something to point with. Get this pencil. They make contact right here. And this is how the printer tells it what ink to shoot, how much of it to shoot, etc. And sometimes the contact between these pins, those contacts, and the back of that board, we're going to take that board off and show you exactly what needs to be cleaned, because it's not making a good connection. There's a sensor in the motherboard of the printer that's telling it that it's not working correctly because it's not getting a good signal all the way through. So the first thing we've done is we removed the print head from the printer. And then let me get a space where we can work on this, and I will show you exactly what you need. Give me 1 second. All right, so the first thing we'll need is a T6 Torx bit. I've just got a little cheap multi-size set of Torx bits. It's really small, not real easy to find. Most of the ones you find in a lot of shops only start at like 9 or 10. This is a 6. We're going to take off these two screws right here. Do that real quick. One. Two. All right, so you see the board has got a spring behind it, so it may come out a little bit. Just be careful with it. It's got to have a little bit of pressure under it. But also, here is a data ribbon cable right here. You need to pull that out. Don't worry about it. It shouldn't be a problem. Just nice and easy. Slide that out. And this should roll forward. Be careful with the other ribbon cable on the other end. But see, the connection comes from these springs to these connections right here on that pad. And that's where your problem lies. Look how those aren't terribly dirty, but you can tell that they're dirty right here. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to try and clean those up a little bit. So I've got it. Just first thing I've got is a paper towel with some alcohol-based cleaner. Let's see if I can get that. It's not really grabbing any of it. Typically it's ink that's on there. That didn't do much good. So the next thing I'm going to try. So I've got a pencil eraser. See if we can get that to clean those up a little bit. Got to be careful with that ribbon cable over there. Sometimes these get corroded. They get ink on them. The ink dries. We've got to get it back where it makes a good connection. All right, so it's good, just the reverse to put it back together. There's two little pins. See, the ink is messy right there on the end. We can clean that up before we put it back in. There's two pins right here, two male pieces that slide right into those openings right there to make sure you get it lined up correctly. We're going to put the two little screws back in. Doesn't have to be tight, like terribly tight, just enough to make sure that those the contact's being made. We'll clean up this front side as well once we get it put back on. All right, good there. Let's see if we can clean off this. Yeah, it looks a lot better. That's where the ink actually comes out of the print head itself and goes onto the paper. Obviously, it's going to be quite messy. We'll do the same thing on these up here on the front. Again, not guaranteed that this will work, but it's definitely something you can try for an easy, cheap fix. So we got the back side of the board cleaned. You might be able to find just a replacement board. Typically, you can replace these as well. So what we've got to do is we've got to get this ribbon put back on. Uh-oh, I tightened it behind it. Let me loosen it back up. There it is. Tighten this back up. And this just slides. Don't force it, but it will go right back down into the same spot. And just give it a nice little push in there. So that's good. All right, let me get the printer turned back on. Let's get this reinstalled and see if that fixed our problem. All right, so we got the print head cleaned. Now we've got to reinstall it. Just goes in the same way it came out, nice and easy. One second. The little gray bar is still up. It just slides right there, and this just puts pressure on it to keep it in there. If you pull on it, it's not going to come out. Close this up. All right, so let's restart the printer. Restart it, see if it'll just clear itself out. Like I said, it doesn't work every time. I have had this work in the past. This printer, the print head may have a problem. All right, here we go. Let's start it back up. Power up. Uh-oh. See, we didn't get this a minute ago. It may have worked. Insert a sheet of plain white paper and press OK. All right, so I got a piece of paper in there. Looks like we had the same problem, but it acted a little better. It may have to be cleaned again. But yeah, I think that we cleaned it good because I did not get that alignment or the test print when I powdered it on before. So you may have to go through multiple iterations. You may have to clean it a little bit more rigorously, but we got a little bit of progress, so this should work for you. Like I said, this is a OfficeJet Pro 8600. And if you know anything about these, those print heads are about $75 used on eBay. And that's actually why I bought this item. I paid $6.99 for it, hoping that I could salvage the print head out of it. May just continue to try and clean this one and see if I get anything. But if you like this kind of content, go ahead and give it a like. Consider subscribing. And hopefully this was helpful.